You know, if you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah, it's
live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, live from Tulsa, it's The Decent Show on the road. Reagan has traveled all this way to record an episode in which it looks like I'm peaking. Am I talking too loud?
Nah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, okay. So Reagan's traveled all this way to South Tulsa because that's where I, Ryan, am unfortunately living now. And
you don't sound too happy about it.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. And so we're in the great state of Oklahoma, studying the Bible and just recording The Decent Show. So here we go. This episode, Mission Impossible Fallout. We both saw it when it was relevant, and now
it's not. So we're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it, yeah. Because it's out of theaters by now, right?
No, it's still in it. It's only been out for a month.
Really?
Yeah, because it came out at the end of July.
Lots changed in a month, so I just thought it was more irrelevant by now. But yeah, a little Mission Impossible Fallout. If you listen to our previous episodes, in season 1, we're now on season 2. We just decided that 5 minutes ago. And we did like a Rogue Nation Ghost Protocol review and recap, and I think we even talked some DC and summer movie trailers. Was that all the same episode?
No, I think we talked about a little bit about Pedro Pascal's. We talked about the Venom trailer, I think, and all that stuff.
Definitely. So yeah, we did 4 and 5, both decent movies, and the 6th one is regarded as the best mission yet. Best Mission Impossible of all time. 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, to quote all the cable advertisements. And I would say it would, just a quick recap.
General impressions.
General impression, I would say it could easily be the best Mission Impossible they've made, but they made it way too long. So now I have a hard time calling it the best Mission Impossible just because, it's significantly longer than the other 5.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it blows 1 and 2 out of the water for me.
Of course, because 1 and 2 are garbage.
Yeah, and then 3 is
three's three's like the turning point. It's it's better, but it's not the best, I guess.
And I like it better than 5, but I don't know. I still have 4 up there. I think 4 and this one are my general favorites in the series.
4 feels quicker.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, I think it's 30 minutes shorter, or 15 or 20 at least.
Yeah, I think it's at least 15 to 20 minutes shorter, and I would say that. Yeah, this one, it was good. And then, like I said, the 4th one was great. I completely lost my train of thought. But, yeah, they're pretty solid movies. That's the other thing. I read an article during the post-credits or whatever. Because, for some reason, the people I saw the movie with thought that there was going to be an after-credits scene. And I was like, Mission Impossible doesn't do this, but I'll go ahead and Google it. And while I was Googling it, it was hey, they have no intent of slowing down. There's a really good chance they're going to make a Mission Impossible 7. And I was like, great! That's what we need. So I was really hoping Tom Cruise would die in this movie so that we wouldn't keep making Mission Impossibles. But apparently they want to do like Fast and the Furious and just keep doing it till everybody hates it.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's get into, spoiler territory.
What's your
it's... Like I said, these movies aren't really... I don't love them, I don't know. It's just... It's sort of... I don't want to say all movies are like this, but when you just have, a sort of espionage, guy has a gun or whatever, and it's just all about it's just, I don't know how to put it. It's there's not any supernatural or weird stuff going on in it. It's harder for me to really like it, really really like it. I like this movie, but I don't love it.
You only really like a movie if it has supernatural stuff in it?
No, I said it's harder to for me in my opinion. That's why I like movies like The Godfather and The Departed. I really like those movies because I'm I shouldn't really like them as much as I do because normally I find it kind of boring, the action. But then but those movies are good at the drama and the scene to scene stuff whereas Mission Impossible is more, this one has more, I feel more drama and sort of twists and turns and gets you on the edge of your seat sort of stuff, which is good. It has more than I would feel most of them do, honestly.
Yes.
But it also it's predictable. Sort of, no surprise there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd say maybe 4 just because it feels faster and it is shorter. But
4 is your favorite?
I'd say 4 is my favorite just because it has just to me, it has like it has the best action, and it has like a really coherent story, and it has like a lot of good scenes in it that are like blockbuster moments, like when he's in the car garage and when he's in the, he's on top of the Khalifa or whatever it's called.
Kremlin?
No, not the not the Kremlin when it blows up. The tall building in India. It's called the Khalifa or something.
Yeah.
And like
Paula Parton.
Yeah.
Or whatever her name is.
Dolly Parton.
No.
And
Paula Patton. It's Paula Patton in it.
What is that?
The hot black chicken number 4.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah,
the only thing that matters.
Yes.
Yeah. So I pretty much got exactly what I was expecting out of it, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Okay, so I just want to know, because I mean, I know it's general impressions, but now you've got me intrigued. So
Okay.
obviously you like the crime-esque movies that are, they're not spy movies, they're more of like your crime, real-life drama.
Yeah.
Like The Departed would be just the prime example that you mentioned. What spy and espionage movies that are like Mission Impossible, are there any of those out there that you do love?
It's rare. I would say Skyfall.
Okay.
I dig me some Skyfall.
What about Casino Royale?
Also, of course, Casino Royale.
See, I was watching the Cinema... of course, Cinema Sin shout out.
Every episode. Yeah.
I watched the Casino Royale Cinema Sins, and he, like, really poops on the movie and, like, questions why so many people love it. And it brought up a good point to me, but I was like, I already love this movie. I'm not going to let this guy talk me out of loving this movie. But he was, like, really hard on it, I guess, because he was like, literally people like this movie for the poker? Like, what is it? Like, these, like,
People like that movie because it's like, he made James Bond not look like a wuss, and like, because James Bond was kind of a wuss, and he was kind of lame too because of all those
gadgets.
The gadgets, and what's the actor's name who played him before?
Pierce Brosnan
ones like really lost a lot of people. Like, you got to put yourself in the moment. It was back then, like, Daniel Craig, like, who is he?
Who is he?
Is he gonna really be that good of a James Bond? Like,
he's fantastic.
That James Bond, like, he'll kick your ass. Like, he's still like smooth, but he's also like he's doing the parkour, which was also excellent. And wherever they were they in Nigeria?
Yeah, well, he like just I don't know. He poops on everything because that's his job, obviously. So he like pooped on that scene. He was like, "We got to take him alive," and he ends up killing him by the end of the scene. He's like, "We chased this guy forever to not kill him." At the very end, he just decides to kill him. So he's like, "What? Like, yeah, like what's up with that?" And then he's like, he breaks down the poker. Of course, he's like, "Dude, the likelihood of having these hands is impossible. Like, just the hands are ridiculous." And of course, it's going to be somebody has a great hand, this person has a greater hand, and this person has a greater hand, and they like critique each other for staying in the hand. But he's like, "Who in their right mind folds a 3 of a kind?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, that's kind of like what he says. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that's off topic. But anyway. So you would, what did you say? Casino Royale, Skyfall, like, so 2 of the James Bond movies you would put in the love category, as in you like them more than Mission Impossible.
Like, yeah, it's not like, I'm not like picking on these movies or whatever, but it's just like, when someone, like, it's just like someone has a gun and we're going to have a lot of gun action, it's like, it gets a little samey because a lot of movies do that. Because it's
easy
cheap,
to do,
and anyone can look like an action star.
I'm
Also,
just
like John Wick,
out,
I like John Wick Part 2 because it has great gun action. Story is
I need to rewatch it.
You do, dude. It's got some great gun action in it.
I don't know. I heard somebody the other day like poop on it and say the first one was way better, and I was like, I thought so too, but it's hard for me to have a true opinion because I fell asleep during the second one.
To me, the second one's faster and has more action in it, but the first one has a better story, so it's all about what you want. Like the second one's story is really nonsense, honestly.
Yeah, it did seem like that.
It was nonsense, but like it was fast and there was a lot of action, so I'm like, yeah, this is good.
I'll rewatch it. But okay, so that's what I'm just trying to figure out is what makes Mission Impossible not in the same league as some of these other spy and espionage movies for you. But I mean, it kind of just sounds like it's a little bit of story and a little bit of Tom Cruise mostly.
Pretty much. I mean, I don't have any beef with Tom Cruise, honestly. It's mainly just like if you have like a gangster movie or something like that, where like it's based on a true story, that always like adds more drama to the movie or whatever. This isn't based on a true story, so the drama isn't really like it's harder to come by, I guess. And then the action in this movie, which we'll eventually get to, this movie, it's like the action is like it's not as like I feel like that's another thing. I feel like with guns, like when you're using guns in a movie and like you're trying to have action with just guns, you got to be really creative about it. Because it's almost everything's been seen before. So,
and then you got sometimes the movies that stretch guns like Wanted.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's not even or whatever. And it's like, but so like sometimes in this movie they are creative. Sometimes in this movie they're not. And then it really just falls back onto the story isn't really that interesting to me, just because like I don't know, I just don't have a really big care for any of the characters in this movie. But like I'm like pooping on it, but I still enjoy the movie. It's just it didn't like blow me away.
I'm trying to dive deeper. I'm trying because I'm assuming you like some of the Bond movies better, which I do too. I'm just trying to figure out why.
Yeah.
The Bond movies better. The Bournes.
Oh yeah,
the older Bournes.
Honestly, hot take here. I think the Firstborn is like, I love the Firstborn. I don't really like the other ones are sort of they're good, like
See, I'm not
Ultimatum and Supremacy. I'm like, they're good.
Careful.
I'm not kidding. I'm like
Careful.
they're good. Never saw Legacy. I saw
Legacy's
Jason
decent.
Bourne. Jason Bourne was
Garbage.
Yeah, Garbaggio. I forgot that piece of paper with the list on it. How are you going to be able to rank them?
Oh.
Hey-o.
I think on season 2 I figured out our ranking system. I was almost gonna agree with you. So I like Ultimatum. Ultimatum's actually my favorite, and I think it's just because of the action and kind of just bringing the story together, and it's more modern. Just because the first one was made, the first one's the oldest.
Yeah,
so, like,
of
I don't
course.
know. But yeah, the first one's my second favorite, and it's probably a toss up between the two. Second one to me is a little stale. It's probably the slowest. And it has like a couple of good scenes that save it from being a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say the second one's definitely my least favorite of the good three.
Mm-hmm.
And then Legacy I need to rewatch, but I think it's pretty decent. And then Jason Bourne, the most recent one, the newest one, was definitely the worst. But the third one to me is plagued by flashbacks. Like all it is a lot of flashbacks.
Jason Bourne, the third Jason Bourne,
yeah. Ultimatum is flashbacks of Jason Bourne becoming Jason Bourne, like him signing up. And, like, literally, he's, like, the whole series is about him trying to kill the people from his past that made him who he is. And it's like he already killed a boss or two. And he's, like, said sorry through the whole second movie from all the families he's killed.
Yeah.
And then the third movie, it's like, oh, well, there's somebody that, like, took his application and signed him up. That person's the worst of them all. So, like, he has to spend the whole third movie having flashbacks of that. Just to go kill this guy. And it's like, why is he just now having flashbacks of this guy? Like, why did it take X amount of years for him to
get
it
through
just
it?
This amnesia makes no sense. It just kicked in. Oh, all of a sudden I remember this guy and I want to kill him now.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know. The third one's still one of my favorites just because of the other stuff that happens. That's kind of the stuff that plagues it. I feel like we're not talking about Mission Impossible.
Well, I mean, it's been a while,
Yeah. Well, and I'm just trying to compare some of these spy and espionage movies. What makes them to us?
What separates like the good from the great to? I mean, because we know what separates the bad from the the good, but it's harder
Well, it's
when you
just
get up
why
there.
do we like these movies more than we like Mission Impossible? And honestly, for me, it's almost as simple as Tom Cruise. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't... Because to me, Matt Damon is like that quiet smooth. He's not like a romantic smooth. He's just like...
Matt Damon,
almost like a silent assassin.
In those movies, he's intimidating as hell. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I would say he's intimidating, and I would say Daniel Craig is just like suave, smooth,
and strong,
yeah.
and he has like the full spy espionage package. And then Tom Cruise, to me, like wants to be like Daniel Craig, and he just doesn't do it. And he also tries to be like likable and funny, and I just don't buy it. I don't know. I don't like his face. I don't.
Yeah,
like,
I understand. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't know exactly where it goes from good to great, but I would say that like of the movies I've seen this summer, because now the summer is officially over, I guess, because we're in September. But like, I would say this is still like top 5, top 3 or so.
Oh, because of Infinity Wars.
Yeah, well, you can't count Infinity, or you kind of can. But
No, I do.
You count it as a summer movie?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, you know, it came out at the beginning. Like, I know it came out April 27th, but let's say, for argument's sake, it was supposed to come out May 4th, like it always does.
Yeah.
May's basically the beginning of summer, like school's coming to an end, and you know the movie is so great that people are going to be seeing it all the way through July.
True.
So like,
True. All right.
I would say it's definitely because it's the first summer movie. They like beat everybody to the punch. They're like, hey, we're going to kick off this summer with the best movie of the summer. Like, here you go.
I mean, it was the best movie of the summer, but that's also a bias thing, I guess, just because like that kind of movie's always going to speak
The numbers
to me
don't
more.
lie, though.
True.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, you know, I bet you the movies that we rank the best are in that order of the box office numbers. Like, I bet you Avengers is 1,
Yeah.
and then Incredibles 2 and Mission Impossible Fallout are probably 2 and 3.
Well, yeah, I think Jurassic World is unfortunately
Jurassic
there.
World, yeah. Okay,
but that's
so-
what I was saying is like I think this movie is probably it's better than like if you just look at the movies we've seen this summer. I think it's better than Skyscraper. I think it's better than Equalizer 2. I think it's better than Jurassic World. I think it's better than.
For me, it's tough to put it over Incredibles 2, only because Incredibles 2 is a great movie and they did it in
True.
30 minutes less time. So, but I mean, in terms of being an adult, yeah, I'll probably say I like Fallout more. But if I was forced to my life to watch one of those movies again right now, I would pick Incredibles just because it's shorter and they're both good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's kind of weird, but that's how I feel about that. And then I can't even think of what else came out.
We saw Ant-Man.
I did like Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man better than Fallout, but that's, I guess, kind of a biased pick. I'm not going to sit there and say Ant-Man's the way superior movie,
Yeah.
but I definitely enjoyed it a lot more.
It's just because like I don't know.
It's actually funny.
For me, I feel like it's if movies were completely equal, and then like one is just more fun, like I feel like I'm always gonna go with the one that's more fun, or like one is more dramatic, which is like Fallout, and then Ant-Man is more fun. The fun one always wins because like that's really what going to movies about is being entertained and not like time just sort of flies by better in those movies. But
Oh, yeah.
I would still say it's one of the better movies of the summer, but then again, I've seen a lot of movies I really didn't like this summer, so I don't know.
You liked Rampage, though.
Oh, fuck. No,
Okay.
Rampage didn't come out in the summer though. It was April.
So, dude, I'm going to bring up Cinema Sins again, but F it. So, because we haven't gotten a chance to talk about these movies. We've been gone a while.
Yeah,
so, he came out with Everything Wrong with Rampage. Have you
Mhm.
seen it?
I've seen part of it. Yeah.
I meant to send it to you whenever it came out. Dude, he came out with Rampage. And the reason why I bring this up is he's come out with an Everything Wrong with Rampage. And
He finally
everything
came out with an Infinity War one. I haven't watched it yet though.
No, he didn't.
I think he did over the last couple of days.
I haven't gotten an update about it. The most recent video, I watched him this morning. The most recent video was Everything Wrong with Cowboys and Aliens, which came out years ago and has Daniel Craig. We were
I'm still
talking
waiting
about
on
him earlier.
Justice League.
There's a Cloverfield one that came out a
Oh.
couple days ago.
All right, my bad.
See, that's what I was going to say, is he's come out with Rampage, he's come out with some of these other movies that have recently come out, and he still has not done a Justice League one.
Yeah.
And I don't get why.
He must be saving it for Aquaman, like as sort of a,
Oh, to get ready.
I guess, yeah.
He did Lone Ranger, Rampage, Ready Player One, The Karate Kid. So he's like jumping all around. He's got like these old movies and then like the new ones that come out. So like the new ones would be like, what did I just say?
Rampage, yeah.
So Rampage, Ready Player One, Tomb Raider, like all pretty recent movies. The third Maze Runner, Pacific Rim Uprising like came out almost immediately. Like, I don't know. Like, where's the Justice League one?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm just trying to say. Man, I already forgot
So,
everything.
and you're talking about Rampage, dude.
Oh, yeah, Rampage. On the Everything Wrong with Rampage video, he said this movie was awful, but I still liked it better than Kong Skull Island. And I was wondering how you felt about that, because I hadn't seen that movie, but I didn't realize that movie would be that bad, because I thought Rampage was awful.
I've seen Kong Skull Island.
That's why I wanted to ask your opinion on it.
And
That was my hot take / hot question.
whew, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say right off the bat, he's not wrong for saying that. I don't know if I agree with him, but it's close. Like they're both
Monster
bad in
movies that
different
are
ways.
awful?
They're both bad in different ways. Kong is sort of it's more serious, and like Kong is great in that movie. And like I would say Kong Skull Island's better just because the monster action is more frequent. I feel like. And they don't tease you as much with it, and there's better actors in there, and like they force a love story in there, which I always hate, and they sort of take a long time. When they get to the island, they take a sort of long time, but there's way better action. It's more frequent in there, and they don't tease a wolf for being in the woods for like an hour of the movie or whatever, and honestly, like a huge deal breaker is they don't say assholes have to stick together like 5 times in a really country accent.
Oh, yeah.
So they win.
say it enough.
Yeah, so I would say that Kong Skull Island's better, honestly.
Just thought I'd ask. Because I hadn't seen that movie yet.
It's
Was Godzilla better than both of them?
yeah.
Is this the one that's getting the sequel, right, coming up? This is what we watched the trailer for?
Yeah, because they're setting up for like a sort of a Batman v Superman, but a Kong and Godzilla movie, Kong v Godzilla movie. So that'd be pretty dope too.
But they can't seem to make a good one.
Yeah, I would say they haven't made a good one yet, but I feel like Kong was average and Godzilla was a better average. I would say Godzilla's probably better out of all those, but it
Okay.
might be longer too, so I don't know which one you want to go with. Do you want to finally get into this review? Got anything else to say?
Yeah, any other random movies and topics before we get back to general thoughts
Yeah.
on Mission Impossible Fallout?
I
Feel bad, we definitely went off on a tangent, but it's all movie related. I mean,
It's true.
It's like dating your third cousin, it's all related.
That is a whole different bag of issues there. Okay, let's get into Mission
Fallout.
Impossible Fallout.
Yeah, let's get with your notes, because you're a little more organized, so I feel like hearing your notes will kind of help me.
Organize your thoughts.
Yeah.
So we are going to spoil the movie, just heads up.
Oh, spoilers.
So they start out, and Ethan is, he's got they're trying this plutonium or whatever to get to basically like to find out where these bad guys are, and they're like already nervous about the job. And Simon Pegg is in the field finally. That was a nice little payout. It didn't really go anywhere, but it was still like, oh yeah, he's finally in the field, and like he's been in the field this whole time, but whatever. And he's like, so then they get into sort of a scuffle with these other people shooting at him. And they have a briefcase that has the plutonium in it, and they get separated from like the big black guy. He's what's his name? Damn, I can't remember his freaking name.
I'll look it up right now.
Thank you. Anyway, so they get separated from him, and he's held hostage. And he's like, "No, dude, don't give him the plutonium. Like, don't do it. Just like I'll be fine." Like, and he's like, "Shit," and then Tom Cruise shoots him to save him, which I liked. It was pretty cool. I didn't see it coming, which is not what I can say for the rest of the movie in terms of seeing things coming. But anyway. Luther, dang.
I thought it was Lucius.
That's pretty close.
Luther was close. Yeah.
So then, like, the trade goes bad, and we were talking about this off air, and the part that bothered you was that they go back to get the black guy, and they leave like the briefcase on the ground, and then a car comes around and steals the briefcase. Like, it's a briefcase. You could definitely carry it.
Yeah.
Like, why would you like leave it there?
Yeah, I would just leave it. Yeah, like it's like a bike or something. Yeah, I would just leave it. Yeah.
So then they're just like, that's sort of the theme of the rest of the movie is like, Ethan, messed up, so we're bringing in, Henry Cavill, I guess. He's going to be, I think Henry Cavill comes in like right after that. He's like, yeah, keep an eye on him, make sure this deal goes good. Like, if you guys knew what you were doing, like, I wouldn't have to bring this guy or whatever. And like, so that part, I mean, I don't know, that was a decent little way to start the movie.
Now, did you instantly know when Henry Cavill was introduced, spoiler, that he was going to be a bad guy?
Did I know Henry Cavill was going to be bad? I didn't know, but I was very certain of it, honestly, just because I was, I would say I was like, I would have bet on it. I would have put some money down on it just because they didn't really do a good job of making it seem like he was a nice guy, especially when they get to, I don't know if this is out of order, but they get to the airplane scene somewhat next, and he's like kind of being a dick to him, and he doesn't know how to turn his air on or whatever, and then like it's just like why is he like this? Like he's clearly hiding something, It's like,
see, I guess I was being stupid, so I don't know how, but like I had seen the movie with Mi Madre, and like literally the second Henry Cavill came on screen and like said a word or two, like during that scene with Alec Baldwin and the black chick at the airport with Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise and like getting ready to take off, like literally she was like, "Oh, he's the bad guy." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, he's the bad guy." I was like, we just met him. He's going on the mission. She goes, "Nah." And then like, I was like, okay, like maybe, but I'm like hoping he's gonna help out. I don't know, because I like Henry Cavill. I don't know what it is. He's likable, so I'm just like, man, like I'm hoping he's gonna help out and like kick some ass. Like, I'm hoping he's gonna do good. And then like they do the airplane scene, and when he was being a dick, he like couldn't figure out his air. Tom helped him, and then he fucked up Tom's air. He like messed it up.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, what a dick. And I was like, but since he's being a dick right now, and like we just met him, I'm sure by the end of the movie they'll be best buds. Nah, he was the bad guy.
That was another thing, is I was like, I'm sure they're gonna make another Mission Impossible movie just because I feel like people are like loving him more and more, it seems like, and they're making a lot of money, so why wouldn't you? And I'm like, he's not gonna be in another one because there's really no room for him in this in this franchise, I guess. Because what does Tom Cruise need? Another person helping him? He's got Luther, and he's got Simon Pegg, and he's got occasionally the girl.
Because they're old and out of shape.
I mean, I guess, but like, that was another thing. I was just like, this is, he's going to turn bad. He's going
I thought he
to
was
pull
going to
Pedro
replace Jeremy
Pascal.
Renner.
That's another
Since
thing.
we don't have Jeremy Renner, like, where did he go?
That's another thing. I was like, why is Jeremy Renner not in this? Like, I don't understand. Like, he's not even mentioned or anything. Like,
Exactly.
And he's like, you know, he was buddy at the end of the other movie with Alec Baldwin, the Secretary of Defense, who's in this movie.
Exactly. I want to say I read about it, and there was some kind of problem,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why he's not in the movie and not mentioned, but I can't remember, so I don't want to say that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of peculiar that he's in 4 and 5, and he's part of the team, and they're buddies, and his character seems to be becoming more important. And then the 6th movie, he's not in it at all and not mentioned. It's like, what happened?
Yeah. I will say, though, like, that was the one thing I noticed when seeing this movie, and I remember it now. I liked how the action was, like, not choppy at all. Like, it was very smooth, and you could tell what was going on. Like, there was not a lot of cuts to it. Or at least there was cuts in better places than other movies, like, you know, Skyscraper and all that. I also thought it was funny how they, you know, Henry Cavill's a massive dude, and they make him look like he's a little bit bigger than Tom Cruise, and I'm like, that's not even close to true. Like, I love how they, like, I wonder what kind of effort they went to in each scene just to
do
like,
that.
Yeah, I was like,
How
this
tall is Henry
ridiculous.
Cavill? Do you know?
Henry Cavill's like 6'3" or 6'4". Like, he's
And
a
Tom
massive
Cruise
dude.
is like 5'5".
Yeah, and he's like 240 pounds or something. Like, he's a massive dude.
No wonder he's Superman.
Exactly. Well, for now.
What does that mean?
I'll probably they're probably not going to have him anymore.
Why?
I like on his Instagram and stuff. He's like been posting pictures of like roles he would like to play. So he's basically like, you know, like people are kind of reading into that, and people are also reading into the fact like they've like scrapped a bunch of the movies of Warner Brothers, and like they think they're just gonna basically reboot and have like new characters. We can get to that at the end. Let's get through this Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, I enjoyed that. They put a little twist. I remember now on the face like technology where like they rip someone's face off or whatever. Like they put in every damn movie. Like,
yeah, we can't get away from that.
but that was another thing. Is like I enjoyed like. I kind of enjoyed seeing it this time. I don't know why. Just maybe it's because we just make fun of it, like because
there it is
for it being in every damn movie. Like
yeah.
Anyway, the bathroom scene was good too. I enjoyed that. That's right when they landed.
Then like going to the bathroom.
But it did. Like,
It makes me think of poop.
It did sort of. Yeah, nice. It did sort of bother me that like Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill had that much trouble with one dude, you know?
Yeah,
they had
that,
that
like-
much trouble.
Yeah,
with
and
one
he's
guy.
like an unnamed henchman or something.
and he's not really in the. And yeah, he's the fall guy for the main bad guy in the movie.
Yeah, so like if he's that tough, why does that guy not have his own crime ring or something? Because he could basically take on 2 of the best agents in this made up world, and one of them's huge and the other one's the hero. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't really. I don't know.
But it was a great scene.
The fight was good. I really just didn't believe that guy could take him.
And also, it was such a brutal fight. Like how anybody was standing / alive /
They destroyed the
conscious.
glass and like
Yeah.
the sinks and.
Like how do you not just black out
I
from
don't-
pain or a concussion or something?
Yeah, I was wondering that too, and I also thought it was funny when like the other guys come into the bathroom and they're like,
Think
and, like,
they're gay.
Yeah, you think they're gay, and then like he also does the thing where he's like, "Hey, you want another piece of me?" Like he's acting like his nose bleeding or whatever, and like, oh, well, like they leave or whatever. Thought that was funny too. I don't know. You got anything else to say about that scene? That part of the movie?
I mean, this is one of my favorite scenes. But yeah, it's kind of weird, like that. And then the chick I guess comes in and they shoot the guy and
Yeah.
bleeds everywhere, and I don't know.
I also didn't like. What I didn't like about her is I was like, so she like saved the world or whatever, and like in the last one, you know, she was doing good, and she's back in this one because she has to be again because like her government is a piece of crap.
Yeah,
I hated that. I was
didn't
like,
understand
really?
that. Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Like her government was like she's been doing all this stuff, bending over backwards, risking her life, and her government still treats her like crap. And
Faust.
It's like, why is she motivated to help these people?
Yeah.
And who? What'd you say?
Faust is her name, like Agent Faust or whatever.
That's lame.
Isa Faust or Elza Faust. I don't know.
Elza Foster.
Elza.
Yeah, Elza, yeah.
Anyway, So yeah, I didn't like that. I was like, man, the governments in this movie are freaking dicks. Like, they can't let anyone go, and they're like, that's another thing that bothered me about this movie, especially since we were watching the fourth and the fifth one, is like I was like, we're doubting Ethan again. Really? Like, why are we doubting him again?
Again.
Like, he's always on the good side. Like, how many times do you have to like realize that?
Well, I mean, I think Henry Cavill's the one who played up that.
Well, yeah, I know, but like it's been like he's like, how long before a man like that turns or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like probably never, dude, because he's had so many opportunities and he's done like the good thing, you know.
I don't know, but I mean, Henry Cavill was playing that up because he's the bad guy. He's trying to draw attention away from him and put it on Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. The other thing I didn't like is towards the beginning of the movie when he's like, "Wait, is this? That's the wrong movie. That's Rogue Nation, isn't it?"
Or what?
He's like being suave with the girl in the record store, and he gets trapped in the
Yeah,
glass
that's
box.
Rogue Nation, man.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
We start out the movie and he's just like he's doing that mission with the plutonium,
Oh, that's right.
and then he goes to the club and he meets the girl who sets up the whole SWAT team job, which I feel like is the highlight of the movie. That was the best part of the movie to me.
What?
The SWAT team job and how like
Mm.
I liked how. Oh wait, no! I liked how a lot. I honestly like they did this thing in this movie where they did sort of a like a worst case. It was like a worst case scenario dream or something. Like they started it out and he was with his old wife, and they were doing like they were giving their vows to each other, and she was saying like messed up stuff. She's like, I vow to always like be a piece of crap to you or something. And then like a bomb goes off and they just blow up, and I was like, what the hell is this? And it was like just a dream. And then he had another one where he came out of the SWAT. He came out of the car that comes down the freeway to block off the SWAT cars and save Lang, or I guess rescue Lang. And he like kills everyone, and like he takes his mask off and he's like feels super bad about it. And I was like, damn, where's the movie gonna go from here? And it's like, oh, it didn't even happen yet. And I was like, that was kind of cheap, but I liked it, you know.
Yeah,
that was cool. And then I actually liked it when they did pull off they pulled off the heist where he drives the car backwards through the back of the thing, like shakes up all the guys, gets them out of the thing, and then like they get arrested, and he's still able to get Lang by doing the old body swap thing with Simon Pegg underwater.
Yeah.
Because they put the van in the water, and like it's filling with water, and they take him out of there, give him oxygen, then they save him. They put that chip thing in his neck. That to me was the best.
See, there's a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. It was like bing, bing, bing. It was, and then they were leaving the sewers or whatever, and like the cop was there, and she stopped them because they were getting in the car.
Yeah.
And then
he's like,
it's
don't
like,
do it.
Just leave or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, obviously she's not gonna leave. But then those three guys that are, I guess, part of the crew to pull off the job, they show up, and he mows them down instantly. Like he shoots them, bam, 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 like perfect shots. I liked that as well. That was some good gun action right there.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. That to me was like the best part of the movie to me, just because like so much was happening. They were pulling off this job.
And
It
you're
was like,
oh shit, a female cop. What are they gonna do with her? Like, I was the whole time I was like, oh man, this poor lady. I was like, this is not gonna be good. Either
Yeah.
they're gonna get busted or they're gonna kill her.
and she's like, he's like, call it in, and she's like, yeah, I'll call it in, and like she's able to like, I guess, take the credit for his kills and him stopping them, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I don't know. You got anything?
I liked all of that. See, that was part of I guess what I was talking about at lunch. Like, there was just so much happening in a good way, and you're like, oh man, this action. Oh man, that was a crazy dream, and this action. Oh man, what are they gonna do now? I also liked the scene, even though I kind of thought her character was stupid. The blonde chick that was like, I guess, the bad guy that had the charity organization and the rave club and like the secret way to get in. Like, I don't know, it was such an intricate way to get into that meeting, but like they ended up, and they're like freaking out how about they're gonna get in there, and they all just end up getting in there anyway, like no problem.
Yeah.
Like Elsa joins at the last second. Henry Cavill is in there, I think, and Tom obviously gets in, just like whatever. But there was like a big deal, like, oh man, you have to have a chip in your wrist or something, or you have to know somebody to get in there, kind of thing. And then they all just end up in there. And the blonde chick to me was kind of dumb, but at the same time, like that scene where he's like basically killing everybody in the night, like in the charity room, but like being kind of quiet about it, and they're just like, you know, like walking around like, oh shit, and he like throws a knife and he shoots this guy, and everybody's like trying, like they're like, should we be freaking out right now? And then they like, you know, freak out and they all get out of there, and Then he like sets up the SWAT team meeting where he's pretending to be whatever that bad guy's alias was.
Yeah.
I already forgot. But anyway.
What do you mean, Lang?
Oh yeah, it was Lang. John
Yeah.
Lang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's pretending to be John Lang.
Solomon Lang.
Solomon Lang.
Yeah.
No,
Solomon.
that doesn't sound right.
That's the main bad guy. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the alias that Tom Cruise uses. He's like pretending to be
John something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
And it ended up being Henry Cavill,
yeah.
who's surprisingly named August. I think that's kind of a weird name for such a big guy. That's his name in the movie. Yeah, August Walker. Anyway, and then they like set it up, and then the whole SWAT team thing was pretty dope. And I was like, man, what is he gonna do? Like, how is he gonna get out of this? And like, you know, he's shooting up all those people. Like, and it turns out to be his dream. I was like, oh man, bastards. But yeah, it was good. And then like, I don't know, that was like to me like the highlights of the movie, and it kind of ended with
the middle part. Like, actually, yeah, the middle part. Like, I'd say everything but the first 15 minutes of setup like was pretty great.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of dragged because we had the twist that we all saw coming. And we got
Which
Pedro
was-
Pascal. Henry Cavill's a bad guy.
Yeah. Helping out old Solomon Lang, and
What'd you think about the wife getting there?
thought it was good.
Yeah.
I was surprised. It's one of those things to where like they've kept her out of the movies for the most part with very slight cameos or slight mentions, and the next thing you know, she's in the movie.
I wonder how they're going to end that, you know?
And it's like
'Cause
a
it seems
big
like
deal.
her and the Elsa is also interested in him. I'm like, how are they going to do this, you know?
I mean, Tom can juggle women.
I guess
You
he
know?
can.
Yeah.
I didn't really like how the black guy was like talking him up, you know? I didn't really like that. Like the black guy at one point, he's talking to, what is his name? Luther.
Luther, yeah.
I keep thinking it's Solomon for him and whatever for the main bad guy. But anyway, so like Luther's talking it up to Elsa at one point, like
Solomon Lane.
He cares so much about all his women, and he's just such a good guy or whatever. And I was like, this is a little heavy. I don't know if she
Like,
needs this talk. I'm sure she's interested already. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's like pretty good shape, and he's kind of a badass. Like, I'm sure she's interested.
Yeah, like okay, we get it. You can blow him after the bomb, like.
Yeah, and I like the part where he's chasing down Henry Cavill. Like, he's chasing him across buildings and like jumps out of a window, and he's underneath like an elevator and
Broke his foot on that.
Yep, and Henry doesn't kill him, which is interesting, like because he's underneath the elevator. And it's like a chain thing, so like they can see each other, but he can't get to him.
And they don't. Well, he laughed at him for not shooting him or doing something, right?
Yeah, he's like, why would you not kill me? And he just, whatever. I guess he was the guy that was assigned. That was another thing. He was assigned to care after his wife. That's why, like, you remember that part where.
Henry Cavill was?
Yeah, he was the guy that was like the guardian angel of his wife or whatever. So he's like, well, damn. I enjoyed that part of the movie.
But what did that mean?
That means that like his wife is like in witness protection or whatever,
Yeah.
and like Henry Cavill knows his wife and is watching over, or I guess ex-wife is watching over her. So like,
But he ended
knows.
up being a bad guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like
He didn't kill his wife?
No, before. This is before. Like, he's using it as, like, don't you dare come near me because I know who your wife is. I promise you. Like, So that was... I enjoyed that part.
I just don't get what made Henry Cavill become a bad guy then. If he was already in the CIA protecting Tom Cruise's wife and doing all this, but I guess he was a bad...
Money.
Well, and he could have been a bad guy from day one, and he was just doing his job to move up in the ranks.
Yeah. Anyway, so... I don't know. What did you think about that part in the trailer that wasn't in the movie? Because you remember the trailer where he's in the helicopter and he's driving it towards a truck on a highway. And it's like the last part of the trailer. That's not even in the movie.
I don't even remember that part of the trailer.
He's like in the helicopter, he's on the road, and he's going towards a truck, and there's nowhere for him to go, and he's like 10 feet away from it, and the trailer cuts. You don't remember this?
I don't, but...
Because I was like, I'm waiting for that scene, because I want to see how he gets out of it, and it never happened.
I don't know. It's probably one of those things they probably shot so much for this movie, and then they're like, well, let's cut it down to 2.5 hours, and I guess that somehow didn't make the final cut. I don't know why it wouldn't, but...
And then, let's see, we got to the trope of using the face thing with Simon Pegg being Lang, and Lang wasn't really there, and it's like, oh my god, dude, how many times am I going to freaking see this? And then,
See, that was actually a decent twist. I don't know.
I mean, that was...
It got me for a second.
Yeah, that was good. And then I enjoyed how Alec Baldwin, he, like, holds Henry Cavill is like at gunpoint, like as far as me, like 3 feet away from him, and Cavill like takes the gun from him real quick, and he's like, and then he just like he shoots it, and there's no ammo, and he's like, oh, that one's not loaded, and then he pulls out, and he's like, but this one is. I was like, dude, Alec Baldwin, that was awesome.
Alec Baldwin.
I was like,
an
you
asshole.
saw that one coming, and I was like, yes. And then I like how the chick came there, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna get this done anyway, so y'all are all under arrest, and I was like, damn.
Who did that?
The chick who's watching over Cavill, or I guess August.
Oh, the black chick.
Yeah, she's like doing her thing, and like she calls in the SWAT team or whatever, and then they have to shoot their way out of there, and then they kill Alec Baldwin,
Yeah.
which I was sort of sad about. I was, like,
I was too.
I was like,
R.I.P.
he's kind of a cool character. I wish he wouldn't die, you know.
Yeah, that means he's not going to be a number 7.
I
Unless
like
they
it.
do a face scan thing for him and bring him
Yeah, I
back.
can't
Simon
freaking-
Pegg can be him.
I can't freaking wait for that. Another face scan. That's what this franchise
Hey,
needs.
you said you like seeing it. Now you're hating on it. You need
I mean,
to
I
make
like
up your mind.
I like seeing it, but it's so like it's like in every movie, and it's like an integral part of every movie.
Can't have it both ways, Reagan. Either like it or you hate it. It sounds like you late it.
I don't know. I guess late it. Yeah, I guess
like it
so.
or hate it.
Yeah.
You're all over the place on it. Like a
What
bisexual.
else do we gotta dissect about this movie? Get to the end of the movie. It's just Tom Cruise climbing on that helicopter, taking it over.
Dude, that last scene, like...
Lasted
oh
a
my
little
God.
too long.
Oh, that, and yeah, it lasted forever. But I was gonna say, just like that whole thing with the helicopters and Henry Cavill, when they're like on the side of the mountain and the helicopter's falling and they're like falling with it, it's like, and all the luck, like everything's on the edge, you know, like the helicopter hangs on by the edge, they're on the edge of the cliff, and it's just like, it's the edge of your seat type stuff, so you're like, oh my god. But it's also like super unrealistic. I mean, they're flying around all over that helicopter. Like, again, how are they not dead or
And
knocked
Cavill's
out?
shooting the gun.
Yeah.
The LMG like shoots like 300 rounds and somehow doesn't hit Tom Cruise, or he doesn't hit Tom Cruise a lot, and he doesn't also hit his own helicopter because he's switching shoulders. And I was like, man, you must be a really good shot to be like aiming out of the back of the helicopter and it's flying around crazily, and then like I really wanted to see him drop those rocks on him. I really wanted that to happen, but because he has like one where the helicopter has like rocks on it, and that's the one that Tom Cruise gets on.
Yeah,
Freaking.
I
yeah.
would have liked that as well.
That was a tense scene though. That was like very Mission Impossible, but it did drag on a little bit long. And I don't know. You got anything else?
I was glad that Solomon Lane died. I was kind of tired of him.
Yeah, me too. And I thought it was cool how the tenseness of that scene where he's trying to like strangle Simon Pegg is like getting strangled or whatever, and like Elsa's there to save him, and she's able to like kick the box underneath, or like able to cut the rope before he's like chokes to death basically. That was sick. I thought the way they killed Henry was also sick. He takes a hook to the face and then lands in a helicopter like he's fucking dead, dude.
Oh God, see, I barely remember his death.
Because like the helicopter's hanging off the edge of a cliff by like the hook that holds like held the rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that hook comes off and comes back and hits Cavill right in the face. Like, so that's death. And then the helicopter drags him by his face in the hook down the thing, and then it like blows up again. Like, it is a super brutal way to kill him. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know. You got anything else to say before we come to the most pivotal scene in the movie?
I don't know, the bomb defusing stuff, the whole millisecond, time that they had left.
They really got to find another way to make things tense other than using a timer on a bomb in movies in general.
Yes, and also it's like, I don't know, it's one of those things to where I guess this series does it the most, where they have to like find new ways to make things impossible, because everything they do is like, oh, you can't defuse it, you can't stop it, It's impossible.
Yeah.
But there's this super minor flaw, and they have to explain the super minor flaw or possibility, and it normally is like makes no sense. And of course, whatever they do generally works, or it doesn't work,
Yeah.
and then they just make it work. And they do this every movie, and they have to find a new way to do it every time. So after like 6 movies, you're like, how many different ways can you defuse a bomb, basically? How many impossible bombs are there that you guys can magically find a way to defuse? Or
And it sort of
how
takes the
many
tenseness out of it, too.
How many secret labs with impossible data to crack can you somehow magically get into, even though it's supposed to be impossible? Like, I don't know. It's one of those things to where it kind of wears you out when you're like, they're going to get in there, but they have to explain to you how difficult it is, and then their super complex way of cracking it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we get it. Like, I don't know.
And then I guess the last thing to say is watch the ribs.
Watch
the ribs.
So Tom's ribs have grown exponentially from the time of movie 1 to movie 6. They've probably gotten 6 times bigger, if I had to guess. They're getting huge. And I'm still waiting for him to open up his own barbecue chain and sell pulled pork ribs or something. It's huge ribs. But, yeah. He... Like, I don't know, I think the 5th movie they were massive, and in the 6th movie we don't get to really see them. We don't get to see the ribs so much. They're like, Tom, keep a shirt on.
Because in the 5th one he's chained to that pole and he's like breathing real heavily and he's literally like...
all ribs.
He looks so top heavy, it's hilarious.
I thought he was going to fly off that thing. I thought his ribs were just going to start flapping and he was just going to fly off the pole and get out of there.
Good lord.
That'd probably be a superpower. And so in the 6th movie I was like, man, where is shirtless Tom Cruise? Where are the ribs?
Mm-hmm.
I was like...
They were saving him best for last.
Yeah, exactly. And sure enough, he gets all beat up flying around in this helicopter that he should have been dead or knocked out on. But all he suffered was some bruised ribs, which, is the source of his power. So it is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And, like, the chick touches him and he goes, hey, like, watch the ribs. And I instantly jizzed my pants and I was like, oh, I can't wait to tell Reagan about this because... He mentioned how big his ribs are. Like, you can touch any part of his body, you're probably touching his ribs,
Yeah, you texted me and you're like, dude, there's a sick reference at the end of this movie. And I was like, I was in the movie and it was wrapping up and I was like, I was texting you because I was the only one in there, or just about, and I was like, dude, I didn't catch this reference. And I was like, and I texted you that and I looked back and I was like, man, what is this reference? And she's like, he's like, watch the ribs. And then like it ends. It's like the last line of the movie and I was like, yes, dude, yes, the ribs.
Yeah, because I mean, you could be like tickling his feet, and he could probably be like, "Oh, my ribs," like they're huge. They're all they dominate 95% of his body. So yeah, it's just kind of funny that she touched him, and he's like, "Watch the ribs."
I looked it up, and apparently scheduling conflicts with Avengers 4 because they filmed Avengers 3 and 4 back to back. So they were filming Avengers 4 around the time that this movie was being filmed, and Hawkeye couldn't make it. I guess Jeremy Renner.
Oh, so Disney has more power than Tom Cruise, is what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. And then Tom Cruise has more power than Warner
I'm
Brothers.
just confused. Avengers 3 was Infinity Wars, right?
Yes.
So they were filming them back to back, and so basically those 2 movies / mostly 4 conflicted with Fallout.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why
he's probably getting paid more money on Avengers, even though his role's significantly smaller.
You would think so, yeah.
I don't know, Disney. They have the power.
They do.
The contracts and whatnot.
And then my last note is just something I wanted to like bring up to you is like watching this movie. It really reminded me of how much The Mummy sucks. Like I can't stand how much The Mummy sucks. I don't know why. But I was watching this movie and I'm like, dude, this is fun. There's some good action in this. Like Tom Cruise ain't bad. Like at least to me. Like I don't know why they couldn't get The Mummy to work because there's so much you could do with that.
Yeah.
And then I remember you saw The Mummy, right?
Nope, just saw the CinemaSins a couple times.
It sucked.
Oh yeah,
it was terrible. But anyway, I was just like, why can they not make a good movie with a way better idea? I guess a way less tired idea. I mean, even though The Mummy is like a classic like horror character or whatever, but you can do so much with that.
I don't know. And I feel bad. Like, the chick that played the Mummy, I feel like she's decent looking, a decent actress, and, like, I feel like every movie she's been in is horrible, generally speaking. Not horrible, but, like, they're just not good.
Well, yeah, she's in Kingsman, first one.
Oh, okay, there you go.
She's the scissor leg chick.
That was good, then. Couldn't believe how bad the second one was.
Yeah, I almost walked out of that. That's the closest I've been to walking out of a movie recently.
Really?
Yeah.
How could you walk out of that but not walk out of, like, some of the other movies we've talked about?
Because we've seen them together, and I'm like, I gotta push through this,
But yeah, this movie was good. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know. I like Tom. I don't like Tom Cruise actually. I don't think he's bad, and I think the Mission Impossibles are fine. And it's kind of hard to see somebody else be Mission Impossible versus him because he's done it for 6 movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of him, and I generally don't like most of his movies. It's one of those things to where I guess it depends on the character he's playing. Because I've seen a few things that he plays that I think he's great at, and I enjoy him. and I enjoy the movie, but I don't know what it is. I guess it's just, to me, there's better spy movies and better spy actors than him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably my biggest thing. So that's kind of what holds these movies back for me. But I would definitely say this one's probably the best or the second best. It's just way too long. Like, there's so much going on in that middle part, and it's so fast-paced. And then, like, the last hour, yeah, mostly the last hour, yeah, it just, like, really slows down. And there's good parts within that hour. It just takes forever to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the first part had so much going on that they're like, well, we still got to end this thing. We got to wrap it up somehow.
Yeah.
So they spend a lot of time wrapping it up.
All right. Well, ranking. Yeah.
So what is it? Fuego, Mad Decent,
Loki
Garbo, Garbaggio.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's, I gotta put it. I'm gonna say Mad Decent. I just can't say Fuego. I don't know.
Yeah, I can.
Because Fuego implies that I'll watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I could definitely live without watching it again. And if I do watch it again, it'll probably be a significant amount of time.
And you'll probably skip, or you'll probably do something like play Assassins or something.
While watching it, yeah. It's one of those things to where it has to be so long that I've basically forgotten the whole plot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I give it, man, Decent sounds too bad, but like, I don't know. I'll give it Mad Decent, I guess, because it's probably one of the better ones in the franchise. And like I said, it's one of the better movies of the summer. But I also feel like the summer was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of soft.
I thought you just said it was the best summer.
What are you talking about? I just said it was
at the beginning of the video. You were like, "This is one of the better summers," or you.
I said this is one of the better summer movies. Is what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, this summer. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we kind of touched on it, but yeah, Avengers, Ant-Man, and this movie are probably my 3 favorites. Besides Incredibles.
What about Deadpool? Deadpool 2 kind of disappointing.
Yeah, see, I always forget about Deadpool. Yeah, it disappointed me so much that I'm not crazy about it, but maybe I'll rewatch it and like it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would, if I had to rank those 4, I'd probably put Deadpool in 4th. That or Mission Impossible in 4th. I guess it just depends on the mood I'm in, because Deadpool is at least funny. I don't think the Mission Impossibles are very funny.
Yeah, they're not.
So
they don't really go for a lot of jokes, though.
They don't, and so I know they're not trying to be funny, but like they are, like, I don't know, the characters like smile a fair amount, and they're like lighthearted characters, they're likable characters, but yeah, the movie's like not funny at all.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of weird. Ant-Man's hilarious, and Deadpool wanted to be funny. I don't remember laughing a whole lot, but I don't know. They try.
What are you going to do? All right. Anything else you want to say before we close out this
episode? What about
episode?
you? Anything else you want to say? Any DC mistakes that need to be hit up on?
No. I mean, the only thing I was saying was that they're like rebooting, basically. Like,
they hadn't even started. They don't even have anything off the ground. They don't even have a good thing to reboot. What are they rebooting?
Batman and Superman.
Oh, yeah. Here, let's take this trash can, and it's like they just have a trash can full of trash. And instead of just replacing it and getting a new bag, I feel like they're just going to dump the trash out of it and use the same bag. You know what I mean?
What a powerful analogy.
Like, I don't know. It's just little to no effort. They're like, it's still trash. It still smells like trash. Like, do you really need to start over?
I don't understand it either. I don't really understand what's going on, honestly. Like, every day they're like, Ben Affleck's Batman, or they're casting a new Batman. It's going to be Jake Gyllenhaal or someone. And it's like, why can't you just make a damn Batman movie? Like, how hard would that be?
Yeah, they're like, I feel like they're nitpicking on, well, who's going to play him? I don't know. You want to play him? I don't want to play him. You play him. Okay, I'll play him. Oh, you're going to play him? Well, I want to play him now. Like, it was like, oh, fucking just make the movie. Like,
dude, like, anyone can make, like, I mean, I'm not going to say, like, it's easy to make a Batman movie, but we know what we want out of a Batman movie. Like, it's not that hard. Like, we want it to be dark, and we want to just see him kick some ass. Like, that's all we want out of a Batman movie, at least, you know. And you could please people with that. You don't have to be like, you don't have to make The Dark Knight. Just make a movie that's good.
What a lot of people have a hard time doing is trying to compete with The Dark Knight. But if you look at The Dark Knight, I mean, it was a foreign actor that people don't generally like.
Yeah.
And he did a great job.
Exactly. And here's another thing. It's 10 years old. Like, you got to move on at some point.
God dang.
It's literally 10 years old.
Time flies.
You gotta move on, and you gotta try something new, you know?
See, they've put The Dark Knight back on Netflix, and I keep wanting to rewatch it. It's one of those things, like, I saw it so many times back in the day, like, I don't ever rewatch it.
Yeah, dude, whenever that, like, 2009, like, the summer, it was on every HBO channel ever, and I watched I watched it. I must have watched it like 50 times that summer.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
I'm going to rewatch it one of these days, just mainly for Heath Ledger, because, I don't know. I just want to see him act as the Joker again.
Yeah.
It's so iconic, and I guess it's just because you've got me excited about this standalone Joker gangster movie that they're going to make that I can only praise at least decent. I mean, come on.
There's no Batman in it, but
I don't
it
care.
could still be decent.
It could be. I mean, to me, like, I know it's not gonna be Heath Ledger, obviously, but like that Heath Ledger Joker, they could have made a. I'm picturing a standalone movie
With him.
and
it
with
works.
gangsters, and it's in my head, it's amazing.
I would take one where Jared Leto is the lead. I'd want
Yeah.
some other people around him, but I'd still want him to be the main character, honestly.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it as long as they like pick a lane for him. I feel like he jumped around a lot in like Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
And was he in another movie? Was that the only movie he was in?
That's the only movie he's in.
Wow, it's pathetic.
That's another thing is like people are like, oh man, his stunt is or Ben Affleck's stunt as Batman's over. I'm like, what are you talking about? His stunt as Batman? Like he's half a movie in Batman vs Superman. He's a scene in Suicide Squad or 2. He's
that's it.
kind of in Justice League. He's there, but he's really not. You know?
That's right. He did do Justice League.
So it's like, dude, what are you talking about? We haven't even had one standalone movie. Like, what do you mean he's done as Batman? Like,
That's what I'm saying. But I don't know. And to me, in Suicide Squad, Jared Leto is like kind of all over the place as the Joker. Like his voice, his mannerisms. I don't know. To me, it wasn't very.
there's a million things we could talk about with Suicide
Consistent.
Squad. I want to do like a review of the the DC movies before we see Aquaman. Like now we don't have to watch it again.
God! I was
We
gonna
can just
say,
refresh our brains on them.
I don't want to watch 6 hours of garbage just to get ready
my
for
God.
Aquaman.
I've seen the movies pretty frequently.
Like
so-
literally, I mean, like for example, we have 3 TVs right now. Like we could put all 3 movies on at once. That would be okay with me. I
That's-
definitely don't feel like watching them one at a time.
We don't have to watch them one at a time. I'll just we'll throw some scenes on YouTube real quick and then to refresh your memory on them.
All right, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, we probably don't have to watch Wonder Woman. Of course, that's the best one, but like, I don't know. It's very simple. I get it,
Yeah.
and it seems it's very standalone-ish. But I feel like BVS and Suicide Squad probably should be touched up on. And what's the other one that they made?
Justice League.
Justice League. Yeah, we
And
need
Man
to
of
watch.
Steel.
I want to watch Justice League again. See how bad it is, and then yeah, Man of Steel's good.
Yeah.
But it's very standalone too. You could probably live without that. But I guess Aquaman will be as well.
Supposedly.
Dude, I don't know. Hot take. I bet Aquaman's gonna suck. I don't know.
Think so?
Yeah, I really do.
Ah, man.
And that's the thing. I'm okay with saying that because I'm really hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd love to be wrong.
Well, I just like not.
Because that means it'd be a good movie.
I mean, yeah. I didn't know if you had like another reason besides like.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm just going to assume everything they put out is going to be ass, and that means they have plenty of room and ways to surprise me and go, hey, Ryan, this movie's not ass. We've figured it out.
I'm gonna be. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm gonna like it. But I don't think that means. I think it's gonna be like pretty good. I think a lot of people will think it's good, and I think I'm not gonna like it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
it's
talking
one
about
of-
the general like reception of it. I guess.
Oh, no. Everybody likes every movie that comes out, and I generally hate most of them. And I know there's just people, like, obviously the ratings vary, but I feel like the people who do the ratings, like, they're not know-it-alls, but they have a better general idea of movies. Like, if they're willing to review movies, like, that means they see a fair amount of movies, or they have an opinion. Like, I'm talking about, like, the general public, like, people I talk to at work that'll just be like, oh, yeah, dude, saw the new Aquaman, it's great. It's like, what was great about it? It was, like, water, they were, like, swimming, and there was that war. You believe that war scene? It's like, oh, man, yeah, that was crazy. There's no movie ever that has a big war scene where everybody comes in and fights each other, and we're supposed to just know what's going, like, you can clearly see what's going on, when reality is probably just, like, 1,000 people just poking a sword at a shield, and you're like, oh, what a great fight scene.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. Like, just regular people that you talk to, yeah, they'll love it. But, like, the reviews and, like, me and you will probably be like, yeah, I didn't really like it. And that's kind of what I'm expecting it to be, and I'm hoping I'm wrong about that. I'm hoping it's actually good, like it's well received by us and the other critics out there, and stuff like that. I want that to happen, but I'm assuming it won't. I'm assuming I will dislike it a lot.
What do you think about, what about Venom? You think Venom's going to be pretty good?
Venom's got a lot of potential, so I'm not
So we're
going to...
like a month away from that.
Oh, I'm about to jizz my pants about it. I'm not going to say it's going to be the greatest thing ever, just because I'll be disappointed, obviously, like I am in every movie. I get all these high expectations, and they just have no chance of living up to them, so that's my fault, not theirs. So I'm just saying I'm really excited about it, and it has a lot of potential to be very good. But who knows? I mean, anything could happen. It could end up being decent. It could suck. It could be great. Obviously, like we don't know.
Yeah.
And based on the trailers, I feel like it could go any number of ways. And I don't know how I feel about Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I can't ever tell if I like Tom Hardy. I feel like I've seen him in a fair amount of stuff, and I don't know how I feel about him. I guess I'm just kind of indifferent. It's one of those things like watching the trailer, and like when you see him like attacking people, and then he like becomes Venom. I just don't know if he's the best fit for that role.
Yeah.
Not that he can't make it work and it wouldn't be a great movie. I don't know. I just feel like his face doesn't match up. And even though it was god-awful, I felt like Topher Grace is a better fit for Venom than Tom Hardy is. And that sounds really stupid because that movie was so bad. They used him so poorly, but like literally just looking at the character and like their face, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Seeing Tom Hardy as Venom's kind of weird, but I guess it's just because he's got a weird face. I don't know, kind of beat up.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. All right.
And he's not an American, right?
No.
Tom Hardy isn't, right?
I don't think so. He does so many accents, so like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember either because I know in a TV show I used to watch, he's a British gangster, and he's done like a British gangster movie where he plays
twin or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he does like an African accent and for Bane or whatever you want to call that, like a South Africa. I don't know what you call that.
I don't either.
But it's like it's an accent of some sorts, and then he does like a weird kind of accent in Dunkirk too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not British, but he's.
And then this one, he's supposed to be an American.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. A lot of potential.
Yep.
How long we go? What are we looking at here? We're looking
a little over an hour.
a little over an hour. So that's the end of episode 1 of season 2 on The Decent Show. Any final thoughts, Reagan, before we get out of here?
No, I just say stay tuned. We're probably going to throw up an Eminem new album review.
Yep.
Probably going to throw up our thoughts on Seinfeld just because, I don't know.
Gamble's watching Seinfeld now, so
Yeah.
it'd be kind of nice to see. Me and Gamble are living together. I know you people who don't know us, but know what's going on here. Me and Gamble have moved to Oklahoma, and Reagan has traveled to hang out and do this. We're doing this podcast, catching up on episodes that we could have been doing if we lived in the same city. So, yeah, Gamble's been watching Seinfeld now, me and Reagan's favorite show of all time. So Reagan and I's favorite show of all time. Excuse me, grammatically correct. So yeah, we'll see if Gamble wants to jump on for another episode with the three of us together because we really enjoyed doing that first episode with the three of us together,
And we
somehow
see,
made
like,
it work. Even though Gamble's never seen a movie.
And then it's like another thing is we'll be able to see like it'll be nice to see like someone who's just seen Seinfeld for the first time what their thoughts are on it, you know.
And I love watching it with him because, like, you know, me and you watching it together.
It's almost a new experience, you know.
It's a new experience, yeah, because me and you watching it, it's great, but, like, we know everything that's going to happen. We're almost, like, beating each other to the quote. With Gamble, I have to, like, bite my tongue and not say the quote so that he can laugh at them saying it and, like, just get that initial reaction, and then I get to quote it later. Like, I'll quote it later, and he'll know what I'm talking about finally. Like, I can quote Seinfeld, and he'll be like, oh, yeah, that was that one part. That's funny. I don't know. Yeah, it is a new experience. It's in like since he hasn't seen it, I don't mind watching the whole show over again.
Yeah,
because he hasn't seen it yet. And every disc, I'm like, oh, dude, this is a good disc.
Yeah,
I was like, there's some good ones in here.
This is like my favorite episode right here.
And I'd be like, oh,
time.
dude, this one's a classic. He goes, you say that about every episode. I was like, hey, it's a good show.
I ain't lying.
And so there was a couple episodes where I was like, yeah, this one, it's okay. He's like, what? He's like, I don't really want to watch it if it's just okay. I was like, I mean, it's good, but you know, it's just not a classic. You know,
it's not fuego.
It's not fuego. It's mad decent. So, yeah, hopefully we get to do a Seinfeld review. Eminem dropped that surprise album, which I haven't listened to all of it yet, but I feel like I have listened to most of it. And I think all the songs that you named, yeah, those are definitely like the best songs. They're like, I just love that he's calling out everybody in the game, and he's doing such a great job on the bars, and it's definitely like a rap heavy album.
Yeah.
I feel like Revival, even though it was a great album, it was very societal and political heavy, and this one's just rap game, just like all the problems he has with the media, people in the rap game, just like spitting bars. I don't know, it's just way. It's
fast
like,
too. Every song's fast, or not every song, but on average, it's got to be faster. Like the amount
every
of bars
song
he's
doesn't
spitting.
have to be fast, because some of my favorite songs by him, like Seduction and Superman, are slow.
Yeah.
But I just like the fact that it's about rap. It's not about Donald Trump necessarily and the problems in our society. He's just kind of talking about his problems with people and talking shit, and that's like the kind of Eminem that I like, whether it's fast or slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely rapping fast on quite a few songs. I'm like trying to keep up. Like I literally have to I don't ever pause music. I normally just talk over it, but whenever like this new album is on, I like have to pause it because I'm tired of missing punchlines and who's dissing and that kind of stuff. There's just so much packed into it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Anyway, well, stay tuned for future episodes. Again, Eminem, Seinfeld, and whatever else we end up watching or talking about. We'll find a way. We're trying to do some sods while we are together. So that wraps up episode 1 of season 2 on The Decent Show. Y'all take it easy.